Now, they inspired a generation to wear frilly shirts and jumpers, and they became massive stars across the globe, and that's because of songs like this.
Barricades. Darling, once more, won't you give me one more time?
Please give a very big Loose Women welcome to Spandau Ballet. Shoes up. Have a seat.
Right.
Yeah, fabulous.
We have to. We've run out of time.
Yeah.
We just want to have a quick love fest between us.
Was we built in time? Yeah.
Oh, bless them. They only fit on that couch.
Yeah, you're all right up there. We haven't left too much to do.
It's snug, isn't it?
I'd rather be on your sofa.
It's 4 to 5. Who gets 2?
Volunteering. It's fantastic to see, and the audience have been very excited. Isn't it nice to have them here? They had us looking back through our photographs to try and find pictures of us in the 80s, and Jane dragged out her one of the pedal pushers. But you went to see the ball.
I did. I went to see you in Tiger Bay.
Remember? Yeah. 1980.
Tiger, yeah.
How did they remember that?
Paul Simper.
What did you reveal? What stays on tour? What happens on tour stays on tour.
Tell the story, Jane.
But it was a tiny, it was like a scout hut or something, wasn't it? And I was at journalism college, and I went with my friend Paul Simper, who's a good mate
just
of
got
you
married.
guys.
Yeah.
He went to his wedding. And he was writing a review of them for Melody Maker, and so it was like a big deal at the time. But yeah, and I've still got your drumstick you gave me.
I need them back later.
How many drumsticks have you given away over the years?
Exactly.
It's called the Casablanca Club, and I think we'd only just released our first single. It was
Yeah, it was cut a long story. It's like I was just saying, it's like a trigger for me, that song. Every time I hear it, I've got the urge to go.
Why?
Well,
New Romo dancing.
Do you know what? It was
do that.
before we were signed, and Steve
Yeah.
Strange came
Yeah.
up, and it was the whole
because
London
he had a shop in
contingent.
Cardiff, Garage or something it was called, and it was Uber Trent. So it was a big old new romantic scene in
Yeah, but I
Cardiff.
can beat you. Because
go
I
on.
slept with Martin for 4 weeks.
We did.
And the punchline?
It was in the Big Brother house. It meant a lot to me every night.
But we had fun, didn't we?
We did have fun.
she
I
snort? Did
certainly
she
had
snort?
fun. No, he did.
Did he?
I'm sure I did.
No, you really did.
Yeah, we shared
About that, yeah.
It was great. But you're here to talk about your film, obviously, and I absolutely loved it because not least because of the research is amazing of all the old footage and you know just evoking memories of Britain in the sort of 60s and 70s, but it is a warts and all, isn't it? I mean, obviously you guys were involved, but you've had issues over the years, like all bands. But like all bands, you know, you've had falling out and getting back together, and you don't varnish over any of that, do you?
Well, there was no point in making a film that was just going to be, hey, we're playing the Enorma Dawn and aren't we brilliant and all that. We've seen that all before. So by giving George Henkin, the director, something like 400 hours of film, which came from all over the world, and thank you very much for that, we allowed her to really put the story together, and we did loads of interviews with her and stuff, and she constructed the whole thing with the backdrop of the 80s, which was an amazing, quite an amazing time with Live Aid and political changes and stuff.
That's what I loved about it, just how it felt like initially it was a documentary, then I realised by the end it was a movie. I felt like I went through all the emotions, of sort of getting excited, heartache, and then you all got back together again, and seeing that kind of mix between fashion and politics, and it was really
all the crashing and burning actually makes an interesting story. story.
No, it was wonderful.
And actually, with George, the fact that we all sort of spoke individually with her, we said things that we wouldn't possibly have said if everyone else had been in the same room.
Yeah, I've got to have a word about that.
I think as well, like Jane said, it's warts and all, and everybody thinks, you know, what a glamorous life that pop stars, particularly at the height of their fame, must have, you know, travelling the world, the fans. And I think a lot of the film shows it isn't always like that. It's a lot of hard work, and also, actually, sometimes it can be quite terrifying, which I think we're going to show a clip of that now. This is you arriving with fans kind of pulling you apart, really.
It does wear you down. Sometimes it gets to the point where you just need a bit of home comfort. People start to look really rough with bags under their eyes and cold sores and stuff like that. I never had those days.
Why are you scared?
I was that scared. I was shaking like a leaf.
See, we are laughing at that, but it looks terrifying. You said you're really shaking.
It was crazy.
I don't think
It was.
Good old days, eh?
I have to say that I think George, being a woman, made a different film to the sort of film a bloke might make about a rock band. I think blokes are really interested.
They're loving hearing this guy.
Well,
They're loving it.
I think blokes are interested in numbers and, you know, the amount of record sales and stuff. And I think she was much more interested in relationships.
Yeah, because I thought it was a bloke, first of all. And then there was this... my favourite scene in the whole thing is when you've had the court case, obviously, where you had a bit of a battle going on between yourselves, and then you reunite in that room, and there's you standing there, and you guys are really old mates, and you arrive, and you're just standing... And, well, it's just kind of like...
It's like a marriage.
You're not quite sure. You're getting about something. And then you're off, and then you arrive...
Whistling,
right at the
late, as usual.
And that, for me, was the most sort of telling scene in the film. It's brilliant.
I think you're right. I think what you said earlier as well is spot on. The film is about friendship.
Yeah.
Whether you're in a band or not. You know, our life journey was extraordinary, but even if yours is quite ordinary in a way, in context, you can still enjoy the film.
You can relate to the relationship struggles.
What I was wondering is I didn't sort of see wives and children, because when I go on tour with Rod, sometimes we take the kids with us, and I was figuring out between all of you, you've got 14 children between the age of 25 and 2. Wow. And I think
I didn't know that.
30 and 2.5,
And I think sort of 8 and 3-year-olds, similar to my boys. And, you know, I have to juggle kind of school life and family and tour. Do your wives and kids ever go with you?
Well, they go on the night. I'm got 7 years, Zara's 7, Genevieve's 2.5, and 3 big kids, Tom, Tone, and Mac. It's very difficult when you're on the road, and a lot of the time you're doing back-to-backs.
Yes.
And if you're doing a European tour and it's winter and you're travelling, it's too much to bring the families. Then you've got the school problem as well. But, you know, they come on the nice bits. If we're going to go to Australia, we'll factor in a little holiday just at the end of it.
Easter holidays are quite a long holiday.
Yeah,
That's
exactly,
a good spot.
During that film, the period that the film is really set in the 80s, Tony was the only one who had children, and I think we didn't fully understand his struggle where he was trying to balance his family life and the band. Yeah. Because I think, you know, we were 24/7 Spandau Ballet, you know, and...
just trying to balance.
You know, obviously... I never...
Is it very different for you now? I mean, did you think you'd be doing this still now, back together, and it's bigger and better than ever? And are you very different on the road now?
I think there's a relaxedness about the band, because the film is, you know, as Gary said, it's a 3-act play, you know. Guys get together, have success, the wheels come off, and then there's some redemption. I think this now feels just like fun and games.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We're loving it. Look, you know, if you can't enjoy it now, then...
We were
And
talking
also,
earlier
Joss,
about what advice we'd give to our 30-year-old selves.
Yeah.
And Colleen's son is in a band, but when you're looking back now, what advice, maybe earlier than 30 actually, what advice would you give to yourselves
I would
now?
tell them to get their dad to make a film about themselves, and they can watch it and see all the things they shouldn't do.
Just enjoy it. I mean, because a lot of what you do. I mean, we went to some fantastic places and experienced brilliant things. And sometimes it's just going so fast. You don't.
But I don't think
you don't take stock of what you're doing. It's not. This film is brilliant for that. You know.
I was 30 when we played our last gig in our first incarnation. I think my advice would be, you know, don't run away now, you know, that don't wait 19 years.
I think you should know what you're signing. That's what, for our journey, you know, we do. You just want, when a band's signed, you just want to go out there on tour. So it just, whatever. Everyone should know what they're signing. But also live in the moment. Don't, because it's gone.
No, we saw footage of you.
Stage in the film that you boys, a couple of you, were kicking footballs about.
Yeah.
Because I know you're big Arsenal fans.
Season, not go on, laces on.
He's a Tottenham.
My husband is the
It's a
Celtic
Celtic
boy.
boy.
But he wrote on here, good luck, Soul Boys.
Oh, my
You wanted to say hi, and that was...
I have to say that one of the bands that really influenced and inspired us were the Faces.
Absolutely.
We were huge Faces fans, and that little whisper that me and Martin always do to each other, that's totally from Ronnie Lane and
No,
Ronnie.
you're not going to fall out again.
No, we're going to take that around the world and give it a right good kicking.
Just to let people know, the film is called Soul Boys of the Western World, and on Tuesday the 30th of September it's going to be at the Royal Albert Hall, and that's being beamed to cinemas all around the country.
Yeah, the film and the play line.
Yeah, and then also it's on general release from the 3rd of October. It is fantastic. We all watched it over the weekend. It's a fantastic watch. Even if you don't remember Spandau Ballet in the 80s, but if you do, it's an even better watch. It's fantastic to see you all look brilliant. And we're so pleased that you're all back together.
Lovely to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Spandau Ballet, everybody. Also, before you go, where's Lucy? There's Lucy over there on your way out. I want you to stop and give her a big kiss because she's been very ill and you boys have been instrumental of getting her back on the road. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.